Welcome to Truckers Voices Podcast. Your host, Tim Taylor, and co-host, Steve Brand. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
This is Danny Smith. Just calling to tell you how much I appreciate listening to your show, Truckers Voices. It's very informative. I really like hearing the drivers' stories, how they got into the trucking industry and maybe what kind of trucks they started out with. And it's just been a lot of fun, and I would encourage any drivers out there to tune in and listen, call in, be a part of it. It's a great show. Thanks.
Hi, this is Scott Post, and I love Truckers' Voices because there's always something entertaining and educational for our industry. And it's also hosted by two of my good friends, Tim Taylor and Steve Brand. Tune in tonight. And in the meantime, be safe out there.
Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? My name's Charlie Demchuk, and I'm here to welcome you to tonight's big show. Y'all sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Tim and Steve got a good one in store for you. So have a good night. We'll see ya.
Well, good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good this fine Thursday afternoon. I hope that if you're a trucker and you was out there trucking, or if you are still trucking right now, I hope that you had a safe day today. But if you had a day out there and you are at home, count your blessings, because you walked through that door and you made another safe day back home to your family. And that's what it's all about. That's why we do what we do. We get up every day and we do it for our families and our friends and those that we love. So I'm glad to have y'all on Truckers Voices tonight. We got a special guest coming on a little bit later. His name's Tim Mcelwaney. He's a good friend of mine. Tim's been in the trucking industry for many years. I'm not going to tell his story, but I'm going to let him tell his own story when he gets on here. But anyway, y'all call in tonight whenever you get a chance and ask some questions to Tim. The number is 251-616-2151. But without further ado, I'm going to bring my co-host in here and let Steve come in here and greet everybody tonight. So welcome to the show, Steve Brand.
Thank you, Tim. How you doing, buddy? How's everybody doing out there tonight? Everybody had a safe day, I hope. I know I did. Had to go get a few hairs cut there this evening, make it look a little better. Try to improve these looks somewhat.
You know, me too.
I got a voice for radio, brother. I got a voice for radio. Face for radio, I guess I call that. But no, it's been a good day. How about yourself? How's the weather down there?
Had a good day. Had a good day, Steve.
How's your weather down there in South Georgia?
About 77 degrees today. When I got up to Atlanta, GA, I had shorts weather on today. So anyway, we had a good day there. Good day. How about yours up there?
It's kind of dreary. A little bit of rain here and there. A lot of cloudy, a lot of overcast. Upper 40s. I hit 50, 52 once in a blue moon, but. Like right now, it's just kind of mist and rain. And got a little rain coming in tonight, but it's all good. We need the rain. We can use it.
So you talked about the haircut that you got, man. Hey, look at this one right here, man. Hey, this one right here, I never, ever have a bad hair day. I go to bed looking like this, and I'll wake up looking like this.
I know that's true. I don't know how I'd look like that. I don't know. I don't. It's all good, brother. It is all good.
All right. Well, hey, we got a guest waiting in the virtual green room. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm just excited for this interview. But anyway, I just do want to remind everybody that comes on that they can call the show and ask any questions they want to at 251-616-2151. And we'd appreciate it. Y'all could help us out with the interview. But without further ado, I'm going to bring somebody in here that's Mr. Tim Mcelwaney that's been in the trucking industry for a good while. I would say that he is, in my eyes, a legend of the industry. I actually have Tim on different events, look up to him, and I've learned a lot from Tim Mcelwaney. So anyway, without further ado, let's bring Mr. Tim Mcelwaney in here. Tim, I got the Rocky theme on for you there, brother.
Hey, how y'all doing this evening?
Doing good, Tim. Good to see you, brother.
Same here. Same here.
Doing good, Tim. Hey, man, I like that shirt you're wearing tonight, and that's way to represent. You'll make Herschel Evans proud.
I figured I would. I'm wondering if I would or not.
Yep. Well, Tim, how's your day going? We're going to get into it here in just a little bit, but tell us how your day went today up there in the Atlanta city.
It went good. We got it all delivered and all picked up, got back safe and sound, and that's all that mattered right there.
That's it. So a little birdie I've heard tell me over the last several months that you are getting real close to hanging those keys up. So tell us a little bit about that. Are you excited about it?
Yeah, we are. We're looking forward to it. Looks like right now, February the 6th will be the last day driving. I'll go in on February the 7th, which is my company anniversary, and do the little retirement ceremony. And then February the 25th will actually be the official retirement date, last day on the seniority list. And so right around the corner.
I'm thinking about that. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I've probably got another 10, maybe 15 years I'm going to try to put in. That's got to be a bittersweet feeling. I mean, yeah, it's great that you're going to be able to retire and enjoy your time of being retired. But then again, you build rapport and relationships with people out there, especially as a city driver. I remember when I was in the city, I ran the city for about 5 years before I transferred to road. And man, I had people that, they knew me. I knew them. I knew when they went to lunch. Matter of fact, I went to lunch with some of them, and they become like friends and family. So how's that relationship where you work at, Tim?
Well, it's just, you build those relationships with drivers from other companies, the customers throughout the years, and you watch them grow, their families grow, their kids grow, and you build that relationship just like you was talking about. And you're going to miss that. And you're going to miss the drivers and the camaraderie. Sure, I still enjoy driving, but it's time to move on and enjoy the retirement, spend time with my wife and the grandkids and stuff like that, and just travel and enjoy,
Okay. All right, Steve, you got anything right there?
Tim, you got the big motorhome and all the gizmos and everything to go along with it, like every truck driver says they want to get.
Well, speaking of that, we did get us a motorhome, and we traded our truck and our fifth wheel in, and we got us a motorhome. So we're going to do some traveling next several years and see this great country.
Sounds like a winner to me. Hey, you get up at Dayton, Ohio way, man, give me a holler.
We will.
Holler. We got right pad for space with the museum and everything's right outside town here. And, shoot, we'll do a little whining and dining, have a good time. Sounds
like a plan.
Tim, before we actually get into the meat of what I want to talk to you about, well, let's just do that. Let's do that. And I'll say that question I was fixing to throw at you for a little bit later and to make more sense. But so I'm going to give you the floor, Tim. We gave Mr. Clarence Jenkins the floor last week, and he started from the beginning, and he told us all about how he got into trucking, how he got started, even some of the trucks that he drove. It was just hey, I just sit back and enjoyed everything that he said. I actually went back on the podcast and listened to it again because it was so interesting. So we want to hear your story, Tim. So we're going to give you the liberty right here to tell your story about how you got into trucking.
Well, I'm like a lot of drivers, I'm sure. I'm a third generation driver. My granddaddy drove, my dad drove. Dad drove for about 34 years. I had two uncles that drove for 35 to 40 years. And so this is what I've always wanted to do. I've been blessed. And I got started, I graduated in 78 and joined the Navy at 17. My mother wouldn't sign the papers, but my dad did. And so I went to the Navy for 4 years. Got out in 1982 and started my career in driving. And it's been a blessing. And I've always wanted to do it. They say if you do the job you love, you never work a day in your life. And that's true for most part. Some days I disagree with that, but it's been a good career. And being able to do what you love to do is really awesome. I've been a city driver the whole career, and talking about some of the trucks. The first truck that I drove was a cab over Mack, 2-speed duplex. It had no air ride. It had the old spring suspension. It had a spring seat in it. No air conditioning, no power steering. It didn't even have electric wipers. It had two buttons that were air that operated the wipers. Sometimes they would stick, and you'd have to stick your arm out the window to make it wipe. Sometimes the seals around the dog houses were cracked and missing holes and stuff. So you'd smell like diesel when you come home in the evenings. And so that was just the way it was back then. But I still love driving those trucks. And the first trip I made was to Pilatex on Wharton Circle. And it took me forever to get that old truck down there. I finally got down there with it. And I just remember thinking, good Lord, don't let me screw this up. I had a young wife and a baby on the way. So, but it all turned out good. And put 600 cases of pillows on that trailer that day. And so, but that was, like I said, that was back in 1982, and it's been over 40 years. So it's been a real good ride.
Okay. So Tim, have you always worked for ABF Freight Systems, or did you work for somebody else?
Well, I started out with Carolina, and then ABF bought us out in 1995 and put us together, and we dovetailed the seniority list. So it's been a combination of Carolina and ABF Freight, but it's been basically 40 years on the same seniority list.
Okay. All right. So you start out with Carolina. So you've only actually drove for two carriers in your whole driving career.
Correct. Now I worked part-time for Jones, and I worked part-time for ABF before they bought us. I worked part-time for Holland. We worked during the day in the city and then go load trucks at night on the docks for another company. And I helped my uncle out a little bit, pulling flatbeds, hauling treated lumber to Home Depot stores and stuff like that on my off day. So that was that was good. I enjoyed that.
Okay. All right. So I got a myriad of questions. So, but I'm going to pause and let Steve jump in there because I'll hog it up. Steve, he's a quiet fella. He does not like to talk at all.
Mm-hmm.
Not me. Nope. I don't talk at all.
Steve.
I'm just listening to you talk here, Tim. What is it about us truck drivers that we just can't get enough? And in the
time out.
Okay.
When you say Tim, I'm starting to react. So I want you to say Mcelwaney, and I want to be called Taylor tonight. Okay.
Okay.
You're confusing me. Too many Tims on
Sorry,
here.
too many Tims in the room, I guess. No, I'm just saying we do what we love, and like you said, you would go work in the evenings and stuff, loading trucks. But not only are we doing what we love, we're putting food on the table, putting a roof on the head, over everybody's head, keeping the heat on, keeping the air conditioner on. And I guess my question to you, what is it about us, being truck drivers? Because everybody you talk to is like, we just can't get enough. What, you got an explanation for that by any chance?
For me, it's something that you're born with, that the ones of us that truly love to drive trucks. I've been blessed to be able to do a lot of things outside of trucking and with the trucking in the background. But at the end of the day, I'm still a driver at heart, and I guess I always will be. And a lot of people nowadays coming into the industry, it's more of a job and not a passion, if that makes sense. The ones that have been driving for years, and not to say that nobody nowadays doesn't have that same passion, but it doesn't seem like it's as prevalent as it used to be.
Exactly. I totally agree. What was I going to say? I don't want to offend anybody when I say this, but I really like seeing guys get out of the trucks with their uniforms on. Even when I drove cross country for 7 years, I wore blue jeans, Western shirts, maybe a pocket T-shirt or something. But I tried to look clean, look neat. Some of these guys that jump out of these trucks today, I just shake my head. But no, it's you're right. It's a passion. But I'm seeing more and more just what you said. It's just a job. They just come in, they slap their truck underneath their trailer or their trailers. They just go down the road, they go home, they drop it out, they just walk away from it. Where's the pre-trip? Where's the post-trip? Where's the keeping it neat, keeping it clean, safety? I mean, that's top priority right there, safety. Where is that? It's we got to get out of this. It's not just a job. It's a passion. It's a living. It's a livelihood. So
let me segue off of that what you just said right there, Steve, and I'll turn it into a question for Tim. So the industry over the years, and how long have you been in the industry total there? I got a call come in. Let's take this call real quick. I'll come back to that question. Okay. Hello, caller. You are on Truckers Voices podcast with Tim and Steve and Tim. So who we got here?
This is Bill West, ABF Freight.
Hey, Bill West. How you doing, brother? Let me turn you up a little bit here on my volume. All right. Go ahead, Bill. Say hey. Just say hey to everybody there, Bill.
Hello, Tim Mcelwaney. Hello, who's your sidekick there?
Mr. Steve Brand.
Steve Brand. I know. I'm just messing with him. Steve Brand. There's a delay on the TV here. By the way, I'm watching on YouTube, and there's a little bit of delay.
Right. There's like a 5-second delay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got a question for Mr. Tim Mcelwaney. What advice would you give to a 21-year-old driver fresh out of school and starting his career in the trucking industry? What kind of advice would you give him?
First of all, the biggest piece is to be patient. Always take pride in your appearance, in your work ethic. Pick and choose who you look up to, just like any job. Find those senior guys that carry themselves well, and watch, listen, and learn. And you'll be surprised where it'll carry you. And the biggest thing, just enjoy it. You're getting to drive a truck for a living and make good money at it. So just enjoy the ride, because it'll be gone before you know it.
Absolutely. I agree. Tim, as you know, you and I, Tim Mcelwaney, and both Tims, we're good friends. And Tim Mcelwaney, you've been a good mentor to me. And you've helped me with a lot of things with America's Road Team. And also another question I had for you is, you've been very, very successful at the Georgia TDC Truck Driving Championships. And what do you attribute your success to there? I mean, what would you say has been the driving force that's helped you succeed? Because it seems like no matter which class you get in, you win. And I'm just trying to win my first time, and I've been at it about 10 years, and I've been able to do it yet. So I need some advice here, Tim. Help me out, brother.
Well, first of all, it's because the good Lord above. It's all to Him. As you well know, I do a lot of practicing, studying, and sometimes it just works. But I've been doing it since 2003, I believe was the first year I started, or 2002. And I didn't have any success. Well, I didn't win the first time until, I think, 2008, I believe was the first year. But it's been a lot of, like I said, the good Lord above has really blessed me a lot in that.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
And I just put a picture of you with one of your winnings there, with Emily handing you your trophy there. But anyway, Bill, go ahead. You got anything else, Bill?
No, I just want to wish Tim the best on his retirement, and I'm really going to miss him. And he is a leader in our industry, and especially at ABF, and we all look up to him. And I just wish him the best, and I hope I can be half as successful in my career as he has been in his career.
Well, Bill, I appreciate that. And if I can help you do anything, you know where I'm at. You got my number. Be glad to help you do anything in the future, but thank you for those kind comments.
So, Bill,
Yes,
before you go, is there any funny stories you can tell on air about working with Tim anywhere?
Well, of course, he's in the city and I'm on the road, so we don't really work together much. But I've worked a couple ATA events with him. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, I do have a story.
Glad I asked.
My very first ATA event. For those who, I don't know, you can probably fill them in later. American Trucking Association. We're road team captains. I had to drive the Share the Road truck in from Dayton, Ohio, down to Chattanooga, and Tim and I were working at a school, a vocational school, doing a Share the Road demonstration, and I'm trying to outrun a winter storm, and so I'm coming south down 75 and trying to outrun this storm, and it's snowing behind me. They're closing the roads down behind me. I finally make it down to Chattanooga, and I got the truck washed in Knoxville, even though it was raining in Knoxville, but I had to get it washed anyway. And so we get the truck set up at the school, and I said, Tim, do we need to do anything to the truck? He said, yeah, we gotta wipe it down. We gotta wipe down the chrome. We gotta do all this, that, and other. I said, okay, but it's not 33 degrees, and I said, I'm gonna put my jacket on. He said, no. I said, you can't have your jacket on, Bill. In case the media shows up. If the media shows up, we need to have our ATA shirts on. I said, Tim, it's 33 degrees outside. I think they'll understand. He said, no. He said, you get out there and wipe this truck down. So we're out there wiping this truck down in freezing weather. But now it wasn't hazing. I thought he was hazing me, but it's not hazing if he's helping, if he's doing the same thing. So we're both out there like a couple whatever, and we're wiping this truck down in freezing weather just in case media showed up. But you know what? Media never did show up, but I still think there was a little form of hazing in there somewhere. That's what I think.
You think it was an initiation there for sure, right?
Yeah, I think so. But we had a good time, and I've learned a lot from him and other captains as well. And I'm really going to miss him. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And I think that sentiment goes for everybody that has either crossed paths with Tim Mcelwaney or has ever been associated with him in one manner or another, So anyway, well, Bill, thank you for the call. And matter of fact, I got to get you scheduled here soon to get on the show.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after the first of the year. But yeah, I would love to. Thanks again, and I wish you all the best. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye. Thank you for the call.
Truck safe, Bill.
You want a story? I'll give you a funny story. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This one's on myself. I'm going to tell on myself here.
All right.
As I said, I always wanted to be a driver. My dad drove for Carolina for 34 years.
Uh-huh.
I guess I was probably 13, 14. I always wanted to be a driver like Dad. Now, I've told this story all over the country. I used it on my ATA speech when I was going out for the road team. Anyway, Dad had a 72 Ford F-250, and we camped all of our lives. And he had a slide-in camper. Well, this was his prize truck, and he had extended West Coast mirrors on it. He had a bulldog on the hood of it, and had an extended bumper on it. Well, the house we lived in had a carport with a utility room on the back of it, and then he had a garage off to the side of the house where we worked on vehicles and things. Well, he always kept that truck in the garage. I always wanted to back that truck out because he'd always eat breakfast with us before he left to go to work. And so finally one day he gave in and he threw me the keys and told me I could back it out of the garage for him. Well, here I go. I shot out of that house like I'd been shot out of a gun. I went up there and jumped in the pickup truck, opened the garage door and got in the truck, fired that old truck up. I remember looking out both of them mirrors left and right and thinking, boy, I'm a truck driver now. Ooh, look at me. I'm backing the truck out ever so slowly, making sure that I don't hit nothing. All of a sudden, boom, I done backed Dad's prize truck into the side of the utility room of the house. It shook the whole house. Dad come out, looked at his truck. Might have been a little scratch on the bumper. There was a crack in the brick from the bottom to the top. Dad looked at it. I thought I was dead. Dad said, don't you and your sister be late for school. He got in his truck and left and went to work. I learned two things that morning. First, not to react in the heat of the moment. And the second, when you're backing up, make sure there's not a house behind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a true story.
Yeah. I guarantee you that house is not going to give much. Well, before the phone call, I was actually fixing to form a question to you there. And so my question was going to be from the time that you started in the trucking industry, I know that things have changed. What year did you start?
1982.
1982, right after deregulation. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how from 1982 up into present, far as the industry and far as the equipment, how has things changed?
Things have gotten the equipment has gotten a lot safer and a lot nicer to drive. The basic principles of moving the freight is still the same. We still pick up freight from point A, carry it to point B as safely and as on time as possible, damage free. The computer technology has made things a lot more instantaneous, so people can track shipments more so quickly than they ever could before. They can keep up with drivers, know exactly when the freight will be delivered and when it'll get there. And so that's really changed, made it easier to move the freight. Used to when I started, might have been one or two forklifts on the dock, a bunch of hand trucks, a bunch of floats, what I call dog legs. Some people call them Johnson bars, that type of stuff to move the freight. And I didn't get a power steering or air conditioner truck until I'd been driving probably 22 years before I ever got one in the city. And so, but the trucks are a lot safer and a lot easier to drive, which is really a good thing. It really is. They've done a lot to help the driver stay safe and to keep people around them safe, which I totally applaud the industry for doing that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I know that whenever I come into the freight part of the industry, I've been in the industry since 1993, I think it was. But since I've been in, things have changed. Matter of fact, I didn't have air conditioning in my city truck, and then once it started improving, these are all tools that we are blessed with. We are blessed with air conditioning. We're blessed with power steering. We're blessed, and some people may not agree with me on this statement, but we are blessed with automatics.
Mm-hmm. From a city driver, yes, we are.
Yep. Well, from a road driver that goes to Atlanta, Georgia, and gets stuck in traffic almost every day, I am blessed to have an automatic. But anyway, with that said, Steve, you formulating a question there.
Have you always run Atlanta or do you run outskirts of Atlanta, or you had to mix 50-50? I guess from when you started, just how much has the traffic grown and all that kind of stuff? Kind of, I don't know. They build everything, they put new roads in. How much trouble did you have over the years? Like now we got GPS, we got all this electronics, back, when you started, you probably had a file folder full of city maps and town maps and everything else. You had to plan your trips out, your stops out until you got to know the area and stuff like that. Just kind of elaborate on that a little bit, how things have developed over the years for you.
Well, when I first started, they had I guess they still sell them, but it was a city atlas. It was probably an inch and a half thick, and it had every city road in the county that the Atlanta metropolitan area, like Fulton, Cobb, Douglas. I think that was about it that was in that book. But that's how we found our way around. There was, like you said, there was no GPS. There was no cell phones. The trucks had little two-way radios in them that you could talk to the dispatcher or to another driver. And then a lot of that you had the landlines. And when I first started, the term manager said, I got your load going to Marietta. And I said, I don't even know where Marietta is. He said, you will when you get back. And he was right.
Yeah.
But I found out in Marietta, Georgia, there's a big old chicken. And if you know where that big chicken is, you can find anything in Marietta, Georgia. Because you call somebody and they say, well, where you at? I said, well, I know where the chicken's at. They say, okay, this is how you get here from there. So I would call people or call the customer and they'd get me there, and I'd rely on other drivers, the senior drivers from other companies. We help each other. And
Right.
we say, well, how do you get there? Okay, this is where you get there, And as far as the traffic is, it's really grown tremendously. Used to, I could run from 285 and 75 right there at Cobb Galleria all the way to Woodstock on one truck and get it all delivered and get it picked up. You can't even get to the South Loop now hardly with one truck and get it all done because the traffic, it keeps you from doing it
Right.
around. And I thought people used to work during the day, and I couldn't understand why there's so many people on the roads.
Yeah. I ask myself that every day, what are these people doing out here, right? Ain't they at work? But real quick, did you ever run a CB radio in your truck, or have you, or do you still, or?
Well, I used to years ago when I was away from the downtown area, the city area, outside the 285 loop. And then on the weekends when I'd make extra trips over the road, I'd run a radio. But I hadn't run radio in years. It's done got. It ain't the same caliber of driver out there on that radio now that they used to be.
No, sir.
It used to be a real helpful tool when drivers broke down or pedestrians, when the cars broke down, you could help them. Now it's done got totally the other way. Thank goodness we got cell phones where we can communicate that way.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I totally agree. In 1989, when I started trucking, you could pick up a radio going into a major city like Atlanta. You could throw it out there, that address. Somebody could tell you right where to go, whether or not you could sleep there, how close you could get into the area, and sleep securely. But anymore, we just call them backup radios. They just turn them on when they see a backup. That's all, if they even got one. But yeah, times have really changed, and I tip my hat to the city guys, because you guys, you get in, you get out, you fight the traffic, you fight the tree limbs, the residential areas, and we're a team out here. You have to pick up the freight. The dock workers got to move the freight around. Line haul's got to carry it down the road. I mean, we are just one big team. But yeah, it's man, it's definitely different today. So go ahead, tool man.
Well, Tim, I just wanted to touch a little bit about your success with the TNC over the years, and let me hit on something here real quick, like, and then we'll come back and let me see if I can get this up on the screen. Well, if I could learn how to work my screen, let me see.
Truck driver.
Truck driver.
Truck driver.
Okay, I'm fixing to share my screen with y'all. Can y'all see the screen there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is from 20. I believe it's 2018. But anyway, it says here that ABF Freight's Tim Mcelwaney this year's Georgia Truck Driving Championships. It was bittersweet. Mcelwaney from Carrollton, Georgia, finished first in the 5-axle class and won the grand champion title on May 10th through 12th, earning his 6th trip to the Nationals. But Georgia's state championship fell on the birthday of Mcelwaney's late father, RB, who passed away 5 years ago. Mcelwaney, 57, used the competition to honor his father by competing in the 5-axle class, the truck that his father used to drive. So I want to let me take this back off the screen here. I want to let me get it off the screen there. I want to talk to you about that a little bit, Tim. Tell us a little bit about that and that ride up there about, you honoring him that year.
Dad, he always run a 5-axle. Back then, he had a tandem white road boss. Back then, they was 40, 45-foot trailers, the longest they was. But that's what he run his whole career. And that old road boss, of course, he didn't have air conditioning or power steering or nothing like that. And that clutch and that thing, that spring and that clutch was unreal. Ooh. But back then, during his lunchtime, he'd come during the summer, he'd drop out and come over to the house and bring us over to a little town there, a little store. We'd eat lunch with him, and then he carries back home in that old truck. Of course, you couldn't do that now, but back then, they didn't mind. But it's just he had always driven those trucks, and he physically unloaded those. There was no skids or that type of stuff. Everything was on the floor. So it was a huge honor just to be able to drive the 5-axle in his name and dedicate that to him. He was there with me for a lot of years. I lost him in 2013 due to cancer. But he was there. He was there when I won Driver of the Year in 2009. Bill Farwick brought him up there. Him and Mom was there when I was awarded that, and that really meant a lot to me. So I just hope at the end of the day I done him proud.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. And since then, you have actually went on to win several more titles at Georgia State Truck Driving Championships. And this past year, you wasn't grand champion. Did you place first this year? Yeah, you placed first this year, didn't you?
Yeah, I was in the 4-axle. I won first place in 4-axle this year.
Okay. I think I just had a call that tried to come in, but I missed it. But let me check this out. Go ahead, Steve, if you got another question. Let me see if I can figure out what this call was.
Okay. Not really a question. I just, Tim, you do a lot of work with Safety Drive for a Cure. You do a lot of work helping setting the course down and everything. And how much practicing do you do yourself to get yourself prepared for your state competition?
Well, y'all understand, any driver that competes, really we're practicing all year long. Every time we make a turn, every time we come up to a stop line, right or left, whichever one. I got tickled talking about Bill West. His son works for us now, and when he got hired, he rode with me as a manager trainee. And he'd been to the competitions with his dad and up there. And so when he rode with me in the city, every time I'd make a right-hand turn, I'd look out and I said, well, there's 50 points or there's 40 points. Or I'd pull up to a stop and doggone, I missed it. I went too far. Or too short, And that's what I did. I practiced all year long. Every time I made a turn, cracking a concrete, y'all have done it. You've been there.
Right.
But when I get serious, I usually start in January, and that's 5 months before the actual competition, So, and we study and bounce questions off each other and practice our pre-trips. Of course, you're supposed to practice a pre-trip every day before you start. But the competition pre-trip, you kind of get a little more, have to get a little more quicker with it because of the time. But that's the way I look.
Speaking of pre-trips, we do one every time we drop a trailer, hook up a trailer, or anything like that. What do you do to keep yourself from being complacent? When you, like where I work, I pretty much see the same equipment all the time. We've got a select few of brand name trailers we pull, dollies we pull, and you get to looking at this stuff. How do you keep yourself from being complacent and just kind of scan by it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, does that make any sense? You're not focused as clear as what you should be. You just you're complacent,
A lot of times I'll go one way one day, I'll go the other way the next day, just something to break that routine. But, there's also a positive to that because I pull the same trailer, the same tractor every day.
Right.
And if something is out of ordinary or something sticks out to you, you're going to see it a lot quicker because it's not what it's supposed to be. It's not what you're used to seeing. So,
Right.
you can do it both ways that way. But I'll do something. I'll change the routine up just to keep it from getting too complacent. But I understand what you're saying.
Right. I guess we get routine.
Yeah.
And we just you got a call coming in, Tim?
Yeah, I got a call coming in. Let's see who this is. Good afternoon, driver. Welcome to the, or whoever you are. Welcome to Truckers Voices. Who do we have on the line?
Hey, it's Scott Donaldson. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, Scott. How you doing tonight? Have a good day of trucking?
Yeah, actually done pretty good.
That's good. That's
pretty
good.
Well,
go ahead. What's your question?
Well, I thought Tim was on there, and I've known Tim for a while. He worked with my dad at ABF. My dad retired back in 1996, and he worked with my dad. And I was listening to some of the stories, and it brought back all the memories of when I started out in the freight business. I actually started in the driving in '86, but in the freight business, LTL in '89, and did it for about 30 years. No power steering trucks and things like that, man. We just and we were happy with that, and now it's like you had to go back to those days. Now we'd be like, man, you're nuts,
Yeah.
But it's a lot of respect for Tim, man. Tim's the man to beat at the TDC. Everybody knows it, and he makes it look easy. And I still ain't figured out how he does it completely, but. I saw the podcast and brought back a lot of good memories. I know Tim he was like me. He was probably delivering around in the Olympics in 1996 and fooling with all that mess in downtown Atlanta. Lord knows I did it for about a whole year there prior to the Olympics. But just being a local guy myself around town there for all those years, and a lot of the things he said just brought back a lot of the memories, and they're good memories. At the time they didn't seem so good sometimes, but going back now, obviously they have a different perspective on things.
You want to respond, Tim?
Yeah, how you doing, Scott? It's good to hear you, and it's good to talk to you. But yeah, you're right. I could give up my air conditioning, but I don't want to give up the power steering. I'll be honest with you. That power steering does spoil me. I remember turning them old tandems, and I've literally pulled a muscle in the center of my chest trying to turn them things because they won't turn. You have to stand up and physically man it. But don't miss those things.
I will tell you a little story about that because you had mentioned. You'd mentioned Wharton Circle down there, and I used to go swap at a place called Leviton down there on Wharton Circle or Wharton Drive. I can't remember what it was. And I had an old road boss, just like you talking about, 7-speed, no power steering, anything like that. And I pulled up, and you can't turn if you're not moving, obviously. So you had to keep going back and forth and inching. And I pulled up and bumped the curb, and when I did, it turned the steering wheel real quick, and one of those spokes of the steering wheel hit me in the elbow, and I just about cried. I really did. I had to hold it together, man, but it hurt, man. Just little things like that. And then, we seen the industry really, all of us have really seen the freight industry transform.
Yes.
Over our careers from just the absolute bare bones to what we got now, where we don't, people don't even change gears anymore. It's certainly been a transition, for all of us.
Scott, will you say it's for the better?
Oh, absolutely. Well, some parts are, some parts aren't.
Okay.
I would say safety wise, equipment wise, and comfort wise, it's certainly for the better.
Right.
I would say that's a hands down.
Regulations. How's regulations? How you feel about regulations?
Well, I think I think it's being overregulated at this point on certain things.
Right.
But it really would just depend on what avenue you're talking about there. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's ran a lot of people out of the industry that worked in this industry their lives, and they're just tired of the different things and the racing the clock, so to speak, and things of that nature. But on the other hand, the new people coming in, they don't know what it was like when we all started, and they really don't have anything to compare it to, a lot of them, So
right,
it may be great for them, but I think that I'm not a very big regulation guy. I'm more of a
I don't know what happened to him. I think we had another call cut in here.
Yes, sir.
Hey, can you hear me? Yeah, can you call? Can I put you on hold for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I think I might have cut both of them off.
Oh no!
Welcome to. Let me try to call him back real quick. But go ahead, Steve.
Tim, over the years, I mean, we've done, you've done formulated and put out there. It's your passion. You was born into trucking. I was the same way. It's all I've ever wanted to do. But over the years, you've had customers, different lines of work and everything. Have you ever thought about stepping out of the truck and doing something over your time? And if you did, what was you considered? Fireman, policeman, steel worker, whatever. I mean, just out of curiosity.
No, not really. I mean, I thought one time about owning my own truck, but then you stop and think about all the stuff that you have to pay for, the regulations, everything that comes involved in that, and make real good money, and I don't have to pay for nothing now.
Right.
To drive these companies. But I guess I've always, earlier in my career, I would have liked to have been a state patrol or a ranger in the forest, game warden, that type of stuff, where you're out and about.
Okay.
I'm the type, I don't like to be inside. I like to be outside, enjoying it. I'm not a computer person, that type of
right. Stuff. I'm not either, and that's why I was wondering, with all the different customers and businesses and stuff you've seen, I've often delivered to a job site back when and think, could I do this? Or, I just, your mind kind of drifts off, and then as soon as you get behind that wheel, that's gone. That's like the balloon you let go. It's like, no, I'm doing what I want to do. But totally agree with you on law enforcement, game warden. I used to work for my in-laws, and I worked for them for 5 years. That's how I met my wife and went to work for them. But I used to kid him all the time. He said, what would you do if you wasn't driving a truck? DOT. I ain't gonna tell you what he said I was. I was a big one. I'd make a good one, but no, I'm like you. Be outside. Anything to do with safety.
Yes.
That's always been my passion. I was on the fire department for 5 years before trucking, and it's safety, and it just all related. But I just wondered if you ever, got to a job site or something and thought, maybe I ought to do that. I don't know.
Well,
Hey,
what really amazes me when you talk about that, because we get to see inside the warehouses, inside the factories, that type of stuff, and it's always amazed me how somebody invent these machines that make all of this stuff work. Somebody had to invent all of that to make that stuff go down them lines, to put the caps on, to put the parts, and that just amazes me how all of that works,
Exactly.
and how somebody was smart enough to figure that out to make it work like.
well, hey guys, I got Scott Donaldson back in here with us, so go ahead, Scott.
Oh well. Anyway, I just wanted to just to touch base and say that I hope Tim's enjoying his retirement. Tim, Mr. McElwaney, not
No,
Taylor,
Tim.
not the tool man, Mr. McElwaney. We'll call him that. But
No.
he certainly earned it. And I always thought about when I with Tim was even though he started with Carolina, ended up with ABS, essentially single employment, how rare that is in the LTL business for anybody that spent any time in this business. That it's not often you see a fellow spend his entire career with one outfit. So and I think very fortunate for that he's been able to do that.
Oh yes.
Okay. Well, Scott, we appreciate you calling. Sorry about cutting you off a while ago.
Yeah, man.
Got a couple of the calls.
It's okay, man.
Got a couple of the calls that's
okay,
going to try
buddy.
to get in here, but
We'll talk to you, Scott.
All right, take care, buddy.
Thank you, Scott. All right, so let me call these others back that just tried to call here. It was my fault, so let's go from there.
We're gonna dock his pay.
Dock my pay.
Yeah, I'm gonna dock his pay.
Hello?
Hey, who we got speaking?
We got Todd Stein, Captain Todd Stein, a.k.a. Sniper.
Sniper, this is Ken Taylor
Hey,
with
Sniper.
Truckers Voices. I'm sorry I had to cut it off a while ago because I had another call that got messed up. So go ahead, Todd, with your comments and your questions.
Okay, first of all, Tim, last time I worked with you on a road team event, I don't know if you remember me, but it was MCNE 2014. That was when the 13-14 captains all went on stage. That's the last time I remember working with you. And I just want to wish you the best of luck in your retirement. And I admire all of your wins in the TDCs. I mean, you know what you're doing. I've done 4 TDCs in my life, state TDCs, not NTDC. Didn't get quite there yet, but in the 4 that I've competed in, I got close to first, but never got first. So I know the tough part is like the written test. You really got to know your numbers, exact numbers, not roughly how many, but exactly how many, tips like that. Pre-trip, I seem to do pretty good on. And the course, I never have any means of practicing other than stopping, turning, parking in hotel parking lots, that kind of thing. But as far as practicing on an actual rodeo course, I never get that opportunity.
Well, Todd, it's good to hear from you. Yes, sir. I remember you well, and I remember that year just like it was yesterday. But I'm just glad you're still competing in the TDCs, and they'll make you a better driver. And if you keep practicing, you will get there. You'll get over the threshold, and you'll make it to the nationals, and you'll get to meet a lot of great people there, and as well as at the state as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I got second and third, but I've never quite got first yet. But I'm striving for it. It seems like the number of people in my division, the more people in my division that are competing reduces my chance of winning. Because the one time I got second, I believe there was 17 in my division, and the last couple times it was like 26, 27 people in my division. So yeah, the more people you got doing it, the harder it is to win.
But just remember one thing, Todd, and I know this may not. Just always remember this: if you qualify for the state, you're already a winner, because that means you've went 12 months without an accident. And in this day and time, with the traffic that's on the highways, and there's a lot more aggressive drivers than they've ever been. So if you make it 12 months without an accident, you're already a winner. So please don't ever forget that. And so that's just always remember that.
Yeah, that's where I got to hand it to you Atlanta drivers. I know a couple of you are Southerners, and I'm an over-the-road driver. Right now I'm in the Denver, Colorado area. Well, earlier today I had to chain up to get over Vail Pass. That's the kind of stuff the over-the-road driver has to do.
Oh, yeah.
The roads weren't necessarily bad, but the chain-up laws were in effect, so I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
Being an over-the-road driver, every day's different, every week's different. I'm always going to places I've never been to before, which makes, every day a new challenge. It's like you want to do the right thing. You want to go in the right entrance, not the wrong entrance. You want to, look like a professional and not like a first-timer. But I'm a first-timer quite often, being over the road.
Well, we sure do appreciate you calling in tonight. Got one more call that we got to get back to, but Todd, thank you for calling. Thank you for listening to the show. I think Steve's got something he wants to say real quick.
Todd, be safe, be careful. March 25th, Atlanta, Georgia. Put it on your calendar. Come and join us.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do that for many years. Just scheduling is tight and distance is it's distance to scheduling.
Yeah. Get your big old load. Come on down.
Yeah, I wish I could get that arranged.
Well, thank you, Todd. Appreciate
you. Then we can add a tanker division.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, thank you, Todd. I appreciate you.
Well, yep, good talking to everyone, and stay safe out there, and just be glad you don't have to chain up in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
So you guys that stay safe 12 months at a time in Atlanta, that's a huge accomplishment in itself.
Yes.
And I'm going to let you go and let you get to that other caller.
Thank you, Todd. I do appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye. All right. Let me get this other call, and then we're going to have to wind the show down because we're at the top of the hour, and we always try to end it at 9 o'clock. But let me get back to this one call right here.
I tell you something I am proud of before we let go here.
Mm-hmm.
They're fixing to give me my 4 million mile safe driving award next week, which equates to about 60 city.
Hello.
Hey, caller. Who do we have on the line here?
Josh West, operations manager in Atlanta. I work with Tim every day.
Okay.
I just want to tell Tim real quick. I know we're running out of time, but Tim, we really it's a blessing having you work there. And a story real quick about Tim.
Did we lose you? Did we lose you?
Yeah, are you there?
Yeah, we lost the call there, but go ahead. You're on here now.
Sorry about that. I was just gonna say, Tim, his smile every day, he comes in there, and I'm always in the fire, and Tim says, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" And it don't matter what I've got going on. Tim will brighten up the day, and we're really gonna miss that, Tim. And I hope you enjoy your retirement and just make the best of your retirement and enjoy yourself, man. We really we're gonna miss you.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate the kind words, buddy. You've really done good for yourself there.
Josh, you actually sent a question in to the phone number a while ago, and I was going to try to get to it, but the call started coming in. Do you want to kind of ask Tim that question that you phrased there on the the text?
Yeah, and Tim, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I think that your style should be emulated across the industry. And my question was, how do you develop those relationships with customers, and how important is that? Because you're the face of ABF and the face of the industry. How important are those relationships?
They're really, because see, the customers, excuse me, customers is what pays our salary. And I try to always come at it with a great attitude, because you never know when somebody may be having a bad day. And if you always keep yourself professionally and always look for the bright side, because let's face it, there's somebody that's always having a rougher day than you. So just always walk with pride, take pride in your work, put a smile on your face. It's easier to smile than it is to frown. And when you carry yourself like that, you're setting an example not only for yourself, but for your other coworkers and the people around you. For somebody to say, hey, maybe I want to be like that one day, or maybe, let me try his style. So that's just, that's the way I was brought up. And hopefully I can pass that on to people to maybe, set that bar, if there is a bar, for say, hey, this is a standard, try it, see how it works for you. Because at the end of the day, as Steve said, this is a team. It takes all of us, from the road drivers to the city guys, to the dock workers, to the mechanics, to the people in the home office with dealing with the regulations and the papers, to the secretaries, the bookkeepers. I mean, it's a team effort for all of us to get that truck to go down that road.
Absolutely. And, one thing we try to do on the management side is retain the customers. And it sure makes it a lot easier when we have somebody like Tim in there with a smile on their face and, like you said, make everybody's day brighter. So, Tim, again, we're going to miss you, man, and good luck in your retirement.
Thank you, Josh. Appreciate the kind words, buddy.
Josh, we appreciate you calling the show tonight. And before you hang up, let me say I thank you for your service to the country. I do. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you for your service.
Well, I appreciate that. It was my honor.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And hey, man, don't be a stranger. Call back into the show sometime. I'm going to try to get your dad on for an interview one night.
Yeah, he needs to. He's maybe he's stage fright or something. I don't know. You have to find out what's going on there.
No, I think we just have a scheduling conflict. Him being gone on the road, sometimes, he's in where he's at sometimes when the show's on. So, hey, we're going to get him on there next year, though, because he and I have been talking. But, Josh, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, gentlemen, we have come to the our post-trip part of the show, as I call it. So it's about time to wind it down. Steve, I'm going to give you the opportunity with one closing question if you got one. If not, we'll go ahead and close the show down.
I don't really have a question. Just congratulations, Tim. Enjoy your retirement. I look forward to seeing you in March. And you mentioned the 4 million safe miles over your career. That is awesome. That is awesome.
Thank you, fellas. I really appreciate y'all having me on, and it's been a pleasure, really. Thank y'all very much, and look forward to seeing y'all in March.
Tim, a couple comments here that come in. I know you can't see who it's from, but I can see it on my phone here. This is right here is from Travis Gibson. He says, good luck and hope you enjoy your time at Tim. And then if you can see it on the screen there, you got another one there. It says, don't retire, Tim. It's a trick. It comes from our good friend Marty Mosley. So that sounds like Marty Mosley right there.
Good old
but Tim, Steve and I, we always close with a closing statement there, and to encourage people to be safe. So what would your closing statement there to the audience be?
always be safe, have fun, and enjoy each and every day. Life is too short to worry about the little stuff. So just have fun, be safe, and enjoy each and every day, because it'll be gone before you know it.
That's right. That's right. Steve?
Just remember, the most important trip of the day is the trip home. Everybody be safe out there.
That's right.
That's right. And as I always say, hey, y'all look out for those who aren't looking out for themselves. And tomorrow, guess what? I'm going to go trucking again. So, panel, y'all just hang tight with me till we close the show out and go off the air. I'll speak to you on the other side, okay?
10-4.
All right.
I believe in